This week's sermon is sort of launching out of last week's sermon. And if you remember, last week we started talking a little bit about a path. A path that we could walk that sort of started in a parking lot and then it sort of progressed and got into these other places that gave us an opportunity to actually get to the destination that we were looking for in terms of our journey together, not only as individuals, but as a whole church. What's the direction that we're seeking to go as a community of faith called Christ Church? And so this week, we're going to take it sort of to the next level. Last week, it was about the parking lot. This week, we're sort of getting up to the trailhead. We're getting to that place where we talked about the idea of there being a sign that's sort of giving you a heads up of what it is that's out there. And how is it that we want to walk that path together as one? And so I thought it'd be good for us to actually know what is our destination. That might be a good thing, yes? You know, for us to actually think about, all right, well, Richard, it's wonderful that you talk about this path, but where is it that we're going? And what I want to do is sort of launch out of the idea of our mission statement, of who we are trying to be as we live out our calling to ministry as individuals and as a church. And our mission statement is pretty simple. It's to love God and to make followers of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. That's our destination. And that's the destination for each one of us as individuals, but that's also our destination as an entire community of faith. Another thing we have is sort of our tagline, right? We are a community, right? And we're not just a community, we're a church that cares about kids and the community that surrounds us. And so those two things sort of balance out with each other in a way that invites us forward to say, this is the goal that we're shooting for. This is what we're aiming for. This is who we want to be. And sometimes our path towards that works, sometimes it doesn't. And we can use the path to sort of give us a little bit of guidance. But if you're here this week after hearing last week, I'm assuming you're getting off the bus. Yes? Yes. All right, good. Because we want you to get off the bus and be able to walk along with us. What I was thinking about as I was thinking about journeys, I was thinking about some of my journeys. How many of you have ever gotten to like you're getting ready to go somewhere and you forget some of the stuff that you needed? How many walked out of a house without like your cell phone? Right? How frustrating is that? Right? You think like, oh my, how can I live without my cell phone? It is so essential to my life that if I don't have it, how can I communicate with people? You know, and I get frustrated because I tend to forget it in spurts. It's like I can go weeks at a time without forgetting it, and then at the same time in 2 days, I'll forget. And I'm like, feel lost without my phone. I was thinking of a trip that I went camping. Right? And so you go camping, there's certain essential things that you need for the camping trip. Like, say, maybe a tent, right? Or a camper. You need, I actually pulled up a list, a hiking list, right? So a gear that you would take if you're going on a camping trip. You need a backpack. You might need a map and compass. You need matches and a lighter. You need that sleeping bag. You need the flashlight or headlamp. You need a water bladder or canteen. You need toiletries and a trowel. That's very, very important because you don't have the ensuite to your home. Right? You need a cook pot with a lid. You need first aid kit. You need water treatment drops or tablets. And you need a mug and a what?
The can opener.
The can opener. And a spork. Right? You gotta have the spork. You gotta have, if you're going to camp, if you're seriously going to camp, you gotta have a spork. And you can also get things like bear repellents. You know, I use that for deodorant on occasion. All kinds of things that you need for a trip. And so I was going on this camping trip and I forgot my sleeping bag. Of all things, I forgot the sleeping bag. And so when we got to the place where we were going to camping, it's like, oh man, I forgot the sleeping bag. And we had to go shopping on our trip to buy now extra sleeping bags for us. And now we have plenty. If you ever need a sleeping bag, talk to the Landon family. We got you covered. I was thinking just recently we went to Universal Studios. And my hair is not what it used to be. And so I normally wear a hat in order to prevent myself from getting a sunburn on the top of my head, and I forgot my hat. There's all kinds of things that we forget, but if you listen to the story, if you listen to the idea of packing for a camping trip, for a hiking trip, the really important thing that I want to focus on today is the backpack. I want to focus on the backpack, the thing that contains like everything else that goes with you on the trip. It's the thing that's going to hold on to the sleeping bag. It's the thing that's going to hold on to your clothing and hold on to your candy. All the things that you need for that trip are going to be packed into that backpack. And to realize that when we think about our faith, Jesus had a way of teaching at certain times about what's the backpack thing? What's the big things that you need to know in order to walk this walk of faith?